while we've got everything, we might as well make a chicken stock because it's so easy. So on a previous video, I showed you how to bone the chicken out. So we've got our chicken carcass here. I'm going to throw it all in. You're not really meant to put the chicken skin in there because it causes a lot of fat on the top, but it depends really, because in some ways I use the chicken skin to then make the gravy with. So you can if you want to, you don't have to. It's just more skimming to do. So just going to put the chicken in there, and then we're going to fill it with loads of water. So give me 2 seconds to fill it. Fast forward. There you go, so I've half filled it with water, or covered the carcass is fine, and I'm just going to whack it up to about 8 or 9, or you're sort of just below your highest setting. I'm just going to throw some stuff in there. Now I've got some ginger. Now I keep my ginger in the freezer, or if I've got any left over in the fridge, it's really nice for stock, just adds a nice little dimension to it. So just throw that sort of thing in. Anything like leeks is really good to throw in there, anything like carrots. Don't tend to peel them, there's no point, you're just going to get the flavour out of them, as long as they've not got loads of dirt on. Or any dirt on really. We'll pretend that I never put them in dirty. Throw them in. I've got some herbs out of the garden, I've got some Vietnamese basil, and I've got some sage in there as well. Whatever you've got, throw it in. Celery. I'm going to throw our celery in. It doesn't matter if you've got all strings in it, it doesn't really matter. If there's any dirt in it, I've got some little water there, I could wash it, but it's all looking good to me. Throw that out of the way. Got our celery, just give it a bit of a chop. Throw that in as well. I love celery. Gives loads of lovely flavour to stocks and stews. Really good. Garlic. Give it a squash down. Oh, God. There you go. 3 or 4 cloves. Yeah. Like a bit of garlic. Again, there's no bitterness in garlic skin, so you might as well just throw it in. Saves a load of time. Boom. That's done. Onion skin is bitter, so make sure you get rid of the onion skin. So just get rid of that. The outer layer. And then just chop it up a little bit, get maximum flavour out of it. Shove it in. Very technical cooking, you know. Shove it all in. Chicken stock. I've just got some juniper berries in there, just as an optional, just because I've got them. If you haven't got them, it doesn't matter. I've got some bay leaves, because I've got a bay leaf tree outside, so I just dry my own. Always got them on the side. They're nice in there. If you haven't got them, doesn't matter. And some peppercorns. About a half a teaspoon of peppercorns in there. Don't need to put any salt in it at this stage, just all the flavour. So I'm just going to give that a little mush up. Bring it to the boil, bring it to a simmer, which you can see in a little while, and then I'm just going to bubble it for about 40 minutes, 30 to 40 minutes, until we know that that chicken carcass is cooked. And we've got that maximum flavour out of all those veggies and all that chicken in there, so all the flavour is then transported into the water, which we can then use for the most delicious gravy, especially on Christmas Day, or any gravy. You can also put it in the fridge. You can also put it on the side and put noodles in it and make chicken chow mein or chicken noodle soup. So many things to do with it, and I say it freezes really well anyway. So while you've got a chicken carcass, you might as well make some chicken stock and then just have some handy. So this stock is boiling away, but there's a horrible residue that comes from boiling things like lentils and beans and stock, and it's called scum. It really is called scum. It's a chefy thing. We're just going to skim that off a little bit. So I'm just going to take some of that off and let it boil away. So say we're going to boil this for about 30-40 minutes, so that all that's lovely and cooked. Keep it on a nice rapid simmer as well. Make sure that heat gets right into there and you get the maximum flavour from all those veggies as well. So we've got stock now, and it's boiled for 30 to 40 minutes. Ours is actually boiled for 40 minutes. And so all the veggies are lovely and all the juices and everything's all gone into that stock and it's all beautiful. Now ideally what you do is you turn it off and you'd leave it to cool down a bit, but we like to play a bit dangerous here so we can show you how delicious it is and how lovely it is. So I'm just going to pour it into a sieve. You have to be really careful though, because sometimes a big old carcass comes splashing out and splashes you on the face. You don't want that. So I'm holding it back a little bit, but also being really careful. Take that off. Put that back in there. And there we have a lovely stock. Now if there's any fat on it, you can take that off with a ladle. I like to collect the fat because I like to set it in the fridge, wait for it to cool down for about an hour and a half, set it in the fridge, and then the next day you'll have a lovely white layer of fat on top, and that's really nice to make your gravy with. So like you were making a roux, you just melt it down, cook some veggies in there, put some flour in there, thicken it up a little bit, and then use your stock to make your gravy sauce. Little tip on gravy, if you're making gravy, dark soy sauce is really good as gravy browning because it has a lot of saltiness to it and a lot of flavour to it as well. So it's just a really nice addition to make gravy with. So if you were to use your fat, melt it down, a few little veggies with it as well, especially onions and garlic, that sort of thing. And then some flour, thicken it up, keep adding your stock to make your gravy to the consistency that you like. And then Worcester sauce, soy sauce for darkening. And I like a little bit of tomato puree in it as well because it gives it a little bit of shine. Now you can see, can you see that? There's some horrible little bits in there, even though we've sieved it. So I'm just going to leave that last horribly little bit out of the way. And you've got a lovely pure stock. So I actually used 2 chicken carcasses in that. So we've probably got over 2 pints of stock. But 1 chicken carcass will give you about a pint of stock. And as I said, it's just brilliant for all sorts of things. And it will last in the fridge for a few days, but you can freeze it up to 3 months. And that's it. You're so